Hey Vince, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So we're all here. To all the attendees, thank you for attending, and I'm sorry we're running 1 minute past the hour, so we shall start. So once again, welcome everyone to our webinar on how having inventory and financial data on the same platform provides a competitive edge. We're joined on this session today by Vince Luk, Director of Marketing at Premise LED, to shed some light on how they've been able to benefit from unifying their financials and inventory on a single platform. We're also joined today by Amit Prabhu, General Manager and Solution Consultant at Aarialife Technologies, to show us what an integrated system looks like. My name is Chirag Joshi, and I manage our operations in North America at Aarialife Technologies. Aarialife Technologies is an Oracle NetSuite solution provider and Zoho partner that specializes in assisting companies building a single system to manage their entire business. In today's session, we'll be diving into some detail on what issues to expect from a disjointed system and what they look like. We'll also hear from Vince on some of the issues that they faced with disparate systems to manage their operations and how they were able to solve quite a few of their operational issues by using the same platform to manage their financials, inventories, and sales operations. We'll follow that by what a unified system can look like and what are the potential benefits. We'll also take a peek into a unified platform like NetSuite to show you the visibility and seamless operations that one can expect from a unified system to give you a single version of the truth across your company. Before we begin, though, let's do a quick poll just so that we can serve the interests of our audience. So, there's a quick poll on your screen, folks. People have already started answering. Thank you. All right. All right. Okay, so we've got majority of folks who have had to use multiple systems to manage their operations. I'll follow that up with, want to make sure we've covered everyone here. Okay. So second poll. And this is especially important for the folks who voted yes on the previous question. Okay. All right, we're still getting answers in. So far, the highest problem that everybody faces is finance operations and sales teams have different information. Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Hopefully, we shall serve your interests in this session. So let's move on to the challenges that one faces when they grow into or inherit a system which is disjointed. The typical situation that we normally walk into is a mishmash of various systems. So if we had to represent this, the situation is typically brought about by the fact that businesses invest in small starter systems like QuickBooks or an equivalent to manage their finances first, and then they bolt on inventory systems like Fishbowl as the need arises. Nothing wrong with this when you're starting out. But as the scale of business increases, these applications we find are unable to support requirements for real time data and visibility. They start requiring more investment in time and money to simply keep up with ongoing business needs. While these systems are robust for startups, they lack customization capability to evolve with your business and scale as you grow. leading users to quickly realize that an inventory management solution does not make an inventory system. Now is a good time for us to bring in Vince, the star of today's show, who had some similar challenges at Premise LED and how they were able to solve it. Hey, Vince.
How's it going, Shrek? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate very much that you were able to carve out some time for this session today, and hopefully, the audience will benefit from your experience.
Sure, yeah, for sure. Hearing it from the horse's mouth who's experienced it in the last few years.
Yes, thank you. So, I think let's take the opportunity for us to ask you, what's what's your background? What's the background of Premise LED, and what do you specialize in?
Yeah, so for myself, little to say about myself. I'm just the director of marketing. But how did I become the ERP champion is a whole different story. But the real part is, Premise, we're a Canadian manufacturer of lighting products. Okay, like Premise literally started with our two co-founders selling lights out of their trunk. And today, after 11 years, I believe now, we have over 40 employees. Our head office is in Toronto. We have a warehouse office in Calgary, and we recently expanded to the US. So we also have an office in Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah. So being a manufacturer, right? We're part of the LED supply chain. We're strictly a B2B business.
Okay.
We have agent representation in each province or state, right? And they sell to a distribution network.
Okay.
And then these distributors sell to end users who install the product for their customers.
Okay. So I think, from what you've mentioned, you're managing various aspects of your business across multiple countries and, catering to customer demands. What were your previous challenges when it came to your business processes?
So the main challenge was that we were using Sage. That's accounting based only ERP that did very well for accounting, but then didn't do anything else for the rest of our operation. It didn't tie together. And because in 2018, when we expanded to the US, we needed something much more robust to be able to handle that. And that's really why that was our biggest challenge. And that's where we turned to, obviously, you and Netsuite.
Thank you. So in terms of this, the innovations in the business models, how are you currently meeting like heightened customer expectations and increased competition? How are you managing this situation?
Okay. So I always like to say that our B2B customers are similar to my children. They want things and they want it now.
Right.
And to be honest, they expect to do as little as possible to get it. Right. So how do we meet their expectations? Well, it's through Netsuite that we were able to customize a lot of things. The part where Netsuite now we learned is called sales to cash process, from creating a sales order, fulfilling it, picking, packing, fulfilling it, shipping it, and then actually invoicing it, and then receiving payment, right? Along the way, what we did was we know customers want things and they want it now. So we're able to not only do it properly on Netsuite, but program automatic confirmations at every step of the way, whether it's the email confirmation for the order, the picking, the packing, and the shipping confirmation, information, everything. Even the invoicing is automated.
Okay.
And that's one of the real ways. My inspiration was, I don't know if everybody knows Domino's Pizza, right? My inspiration is Domino's Pizza. 5 years ago, every time I order pizza, it would tell you, John is preparing your pizza, right? And it would tell you each step they're preparing it, they're checking the quality, and now it's on the way. And ever since I saw that, this is what I wanted for this business. And we did that. And only it's because Netsuite, as the platform, we were able to do that. And for us, that's what the Amazon-like experiences are, right? Even though we're not Amazon and we don't do what they do, the expectations of people now, because they are customers of Amazon, most of them, right?
Mhm.
In our industry, we want to also meet that too. You know,
Okay. So
um,
I think as of now, I'm giving you a virtual high five for that analogy.
right?
So
True.
like, now, as distributor, like you're a manufacturer and you're a distributor as well, and mainly, one of the struggles that distributors have is with thin margins. How do you think NetSuite is helping you and your business in this particular challenge?
Thin margins, eh? Okay, so um, you're actually right because first thing is the automation capabilities in NetSuite. Ever since and I hope there's no HR people on this call, but really, it's the whole point is that now I've been, our co-founder and CEO, he's tasked me with every business decision we make now in terms of technology, right?
Mhm.
He asks me, Vince, how many people are we going to save from having to hire in the next 3 years, even incorporating the fact that we have projected increases in our future business, right? And that's what it is. The first thing is your margins are thin, so automating these things, each process as you serve your customer is huge, right? For your margins, you don't have to hire more employees to do the same thing. Um, the reality is, we all know what COVID did to us, but prior to COVID, we had 5 people in accounting.
Okay.
And um, then we had NetSuite. And then after COVID, and it's not because of COVID actually, but after that, we only have 3 in accounting and we're doing 25% more of the business
Okay.
only with 3. So it's all because of what NetSuite was able to do in automating. We used to have to manually invoice customers, right?
Okay.
Now that's not the case.
Hmm.
Um, so that's one way.
Okay. I think great. I'm glad we were able to be a part of this journey. I think going forward, what would be your advice for SMEs that are on the brink or at an inflection point of a drastic change? What do you think they should be investing in right now?
Well, the main thing is always the backbone of your organization, right? And to us, our company anyway, has always been what does it run on, right? The structure.
Right.
So for us, it's NetSuite, and you have to also make sure it's future proof. You
Okay.
know, we had Sage, and Sage lasted us 5 years, and it wasn't future proof because we couldn't build anything on it.
Okay.
We did our research, right, when we first looked at NetSuite, and we could
Hmm.
see that NetSuite's been around for 20 years.
Right.
It's also owned by Oracle, so
Hmm.
you really know that they aren't going anywhere. So having NetSuite in place as our backbone, and as yours, if you guys choose to, that's where you can build and strengthen your business to do anything afterwards. You
Right.
change your business process, you could
Hmm.
build that into NetSuite,
Right.
right? A lot of them don't have that flexibility.
Got it. Got it. Well, Vince, I hope that those insights have been valuable for all the attendees today.
Awesome.
Um, and thank you so much for again making the time for us this morning.
No problem.
Um, so, with that, I say thank you to Vince, and we move on to the next part of the agenda of our session. Um, Earlier I discussed about what are the disadvantages or what are the challenges that one faces with disjointed system. At the opposite end of the spectrum, we're able to seamlessly link various processes in an organization to provide a single version of the truth. Similar to what Vince just said, in terms of having a single version of the truth across the company. Now, imagine the ability to actually be on the same page as your colleagues, at least as far as seeing the same data goes, allowing you to jointly plan and execute based on the same real-time information from anywhere on any device, and allocate budgets more towards business growth initiatives as opposed to system maintenance. So how do we represent a unified system? So if you remember the previous hairball that we looked at, where we had a disjointed system, and from there we move into what we call a unified system. with all functions and processes of an organization sharing the same processes, giving you a full 360-degree view of the business and a single version of the truth, not just for your internal stakeholders, but external contributors to your growth, and most importantly, I believe your customer, followed by your vendors and your partners. So this is our, a very high level diagrammatic representation of what a unified system can mean and can look like, and what it can offer you in terms of possibilities. With that said, I think I'm going to now pass on the baton to Amit Prabhu to actually take a peek into what a unified system can look like and see it in action.
Perfect. Thanks, Chirag. Uh, if you could hand over the rights to present, please.
Just one moment. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Great. I hope Chirag has given you a good idea of what the system means on a presentation. But let me run you through the actual system and how it looks. This will be a short 15 minutes presentation. And if you have any questions, we can dive into detailed demos later on. But let's first understand what the system can do, what benefits you get out of it. Okay. Can you see my screen? Chirag, can you confirm that?
No, we don't see your screen yet.
Okay. Let me. Okay.
Yes, now we can see.
You can see?
Oh, no, not yet. Sorry. No, not
Yeah.
yet.
Now?
No, we don't see your screen yet. Now we do. Perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So uh, the screen you see right now is the NetSuite login. It's as simple as this. Okay. You don't have to install any software. It's a complete cloud-based application, which means that you go to netsuite.com, click on the login button, and you land on this page. Now, once you are here, you simply have to put in your username and password and click the login button, and you are in. Okay, you will be directed to your dashboard wherein you will see the exact data what you should be seeing. Okay, now for this demonstration purpose, I have logged in as an administrator, so I have huge set of data what you see here. Plus, I have multiple roles which have been assigned to me, which allow me to navigate and show you those features as well. Okay, but the aspect here is the roles control what a user sees. Okay, so for example, if I'm logged into a controller role, it will be all financial data. That does not mean that the controller will not be able to see inventory data. He will be, because as Chirag said, this is a complete unified system, and all the data across the system, right from your CRM to your inventory to your financials, is shared across users and can be controlled by the rights you give them. Okay. Now, as a finance controller, you see the first thing here, I have some reminders, right? So it tells me about my expenses, which needs to be approved. It tells me about the bills, which needs to be approved or paid, or the invoices. It also shows me some KPIs here, which talks about, okay, how my sale has been, how my expense has been moving, how is my income by trend, what are my key performance indicators, and how they have been comparing over time. Let's take an example here. For example, I have my expense, which is going up, compared to the previous place, 18% up, right? If I want to compare it, I simply click on the graph button. NetSuite has an inbuilt BI tool, which will help you do that. It will help you represent the data, okay? And you can do it in multiple ways. The best part here is NetSuite allows you to do something called as compare, side-by-side compare, okay? Which actually takes you to a place where you say, okay, my expense for 1920 Q2 was this, vis-a-vis my expense for 2021 Q2 is this. I have a clear picture of how my expenses have been moving compared to the previous quarters I have here. Okay. In case you want to use this data or graphs for your presentations, board meetings, you simply can download them from here as PNG or JPG or PDF. Or you want the underlying data to analyze in an Excel sheet, you simply can export it using the export option. Great. Now, there are other ratios what I have defined just to show you, how it would look. For example, I have the gross profit ratio, the bank balance here, the EBITDA ratio, the net income, and I'm actually doing a compare here. Okay, so it says this period, last period, what's last fiscal quarter, last to last fiscal quarter. This is a wonderful report you have here. So you have all the data and the progression of your company right in front of you in real time. Any data you see here is reflecting in real time. You just have to click one refresh button, and any sales orders, invoices, vendor bills punched in there would reflect directly on your dashboards, right? Now, one of the most important thing NetSuite gives you is the subsidiary management. Okay, so if you have multiple subsidiaries, trying to consolidate them is a big problem. With NetSuite, it gives you a module called as One World, which allows you to create multiple subsidiaries. For example, I have one consolidation subsidiary, and then I have one in UK, one in US. We have two in US here. Now, the better part here is while all this happens, you see my dashboard. This is right now based on consolidation. But if I want to see the dashboard, maybe only for the UAE subsidiary, I click on there, and my whole dashboard will reflect only that subsidiary data. Okay. If I want to look at the group level, I click here, it will reflect the group level data. You see the numbers changing everywhere? That's because with a single click in real time, the system allows me to consolidate. Okay. This is one of the most powerful feature which NetSuite gives you. Again, if I have to switch to a CFO role, you will see very, very similar dashboards, but the data would have changed. The menus would have changed. It's much crisp for him. He can see only a few reminders here, something which is really, really important. Okay, maybe something which is like about $50,000 and about 30 days invoices which are overdue, and something which really needs the attention. As well as we have put something called as a weekly cash projection report here. Okay, so as a finance head, the CFO, you need to understand how your cash flows have been moving. So generally, I'll just expand this so you can see this properly. Generally, you would want to see, okay, for this month, how is my cash flow looking like? So what are the AR dues this month? What is my cash receivables? How much do I owe? How much cash have I paid? And in total, what my net cash flow looks like, right? In a single crisp snapshot, you have all the details to actually manage your cash flow here. This is very important if you are a distribution company or trading company who deals a lot in thin margins while you do all your trading, right? So you need to have a good grip of your cash flows, and this gives you very, very accurate understanding of how your business has been and how things are moving forward. Again, as I said, these are few dashboards I showed you. I shift to a different role, for example, a purchase manager role, I'll see complete different data. It will be more data to do with procurement and data related to inventory stuff. So okay, let this load. Okay, so you see here you have items to order, you have inventory details, you have sales valuation. The data set is completely changed, and what you see on the dashboard, these are completely configurable. You can actually go and set and say, okay, I want to show inventory data to a CFO. It's okay, you can do that in the system. Okay, now I will switch back to the administrator role so I can show you more features of it, more from a platform perspective, and maybe I'll give you a small glimpse of how the inventory is structured. So, we understand the singular nature of what NetSuite can do for you. Now, with NetSuite, what you have is it gives you a platform. Okay, so if I have to show you, it will give you something called as a workflow manager. Okay. So generally what happens is when you deploy an ERP, the workflows are very rigid. The ERP tells you, okay, this is how you need to have your workflow done. Okay. With NetSuite, that's not the case. It allows you to configure your own workflows. Now, this is a very simple workflow I'm opening. Okay. But you might have much complicated workflows. Now, this workflow is defined on an invoice here. Okay. And these boxes you see are called as states. So you can actually go and define what happens in that state. Okay. And these lines are transitions. wherein you can define conditions. Okay, when should it move from one state to other state? It's very simple to add the states and condition. It's as simple as clicking on add new state. You will have the state here, and then you define the actions. You just say new action and define it, and then you simply put a condition the way you want to put it. Okay, so a wonderful, powerful platform to go and build your own workflows. So the software adapts to your business and not vice versa. It should not be that you are taking a software and you have to change your whole business model just so that you fit in the software to do the things right. NetSuite allows you to modify the software so that your business process can actually fit into it. Great. Now, the other powerful thing, the reports and the analytics. I will keep analytics aside because that's something of an advanced topic, but reporting capabilities. Okay. From report perspective, NetSuite actually gives you more than 300 reports by default. Okay. Now you see there are different reports here in terms of AR aging, AP aging, the financial reports, the inventory reports, all in one single system. And this is all connected, right? Because when you do a bill, when you do a purchase order, when you do an invoice, it hits your inventory because you are doing item receipts, you are doing fulfillments. It all hits your inventory, but it also hits your financials. The valuations of your inventory changes, right? So if in case you had to modify any report, for example, I'll just pick up the first report I see here, maybe sales by customer report, right? If I have to modify this report, I don't have data here, so let me do it 2021 and refresh. There you go. So I have customers here and I have the sales, and this is complete drill down. Okay, if I want to drill on, click on something and drill down and see what exactly that number is, I can do that. Okay, it will actually take me, okay, these are the invoices and these are the values. I can further click on this and it will take me to the actual invoice which was generated. But coming back here, if I have to modify this report, I simply click on customize. It takes me to a very user-friendly report writer. Okay, and I can simply go here and say, maybe I'll just add a phone number. I'll search for the phone number, and it should come in a bit. Okay, and I'll drag this, drop it here, and you are done. I click on preview. I should have the phone number here. Okay, it's as simple as that to customize report. Definitely, system allows you to do different kind of queries as well as build complex report. This is very simple thing I showed you, but the capabilities are literally endless here. System allows you to do a lot of things, get your data represented in the right way. So you have all your data and then you represent it in the right way. That actually makes your business look good. Okay. What I'll do is I'll quickly talk about inventory here, and maybe after that, look at a few purchase and sales transactions. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Just move my shortcuts up. Okay, so I'm just opening a inventory item. That's the SKU, which is configured, so I can show you how it looks, what data it can hold. Generally, in NetSuite, an inventory item can be of multiple types, right? So it can be an inventory item with a batch number or a serial number, a service type of item, and there are many more, okay? But generally, if it's a normal inventory item, this is how it looks. You have the item name, you have the display code. In case you have multiple subsidiaries, you can define those subsidiaries here. And then on the procurement side, you have to define what is the purchase description, what is the purchase price of this item. Now, this is automatically populated based on your last purchase price, okay? What is the costing method you are going to use for this? What is the average cost based on your previous procurements? It will tell you what is your average cost, okay? In case you want to use bins, you can do that. The system also allows you to do reorder points, safety stock levels, okay? Now, the best thing here is we also have an option called as auto calculate. So if you have legacy data which is there in the system, maybe you have used the system for like 6 months, 1 year, you have the transactional data, you can set the reorder points and preferred stock level and safety stock level to auto, and the system will automatically calculate that for you. Okay, but for now you can also have locations, and you can define the reorder points and preferred stock levels manually as well. Now, when you're talking about one item here, you can have multiple vendors. I right now have set only one vendor here, but you could define multiple vendors and the purchase price for each vendor which you have negotiated with that particular vendor. Okay. On the sales side of it, I'm defining on the same SKU now here. I can define the weight of the item, the shipping carrier which is there, the package of the item, and the pricing metrics. So you might have multiple prices. Like for example, you have US dollars, you might sell in CAD, you might sell in the euro or GBP. You can define those pricing as well as define multiple levels of pricing. So I have price 1, price 2, price 3, and I can rename this to whatever I want with the quantity definitions. Okay, so maybe I'll just edit this and quickly give a glance of that as well. Okay, so coming back here, so say that up to 100 quantity, I'll sell it for 500. Anything above 100 to 200 quantity, maybe I'll sell it for 490, and anything about 200 I will sell for 485. Okay, so I can define a matrix of pricing here. So while I do my sales orders and invoices, the price is automatically calculated, and any deviation from here can route through approval mechanism if you want to do that.
Hey Amit, sorry, your screen is frozen. You might just have to refresh or restart.
Frozen?
Yeah, we are at the dashboard as of now.
Oh, I'm so no, I'm actually sharing the inventory screen. Okay, can you see?
Just a moment.
Can you see?
Yes, thank you. Now we are at the inventory item. Yes.
Okay, let me stop and reshare. Okay, just hold. There's something wrong here. Okay, guys. I think you missed a lot. So, okay, I'll just rerun you through that. You can see my screen share, right? It's on the inventory.
That's correct. We're at the inventory item page. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so what I was talking earlier was the purchase price details, the average costing that comes here automatically. You can define a replenishment method how you want it. It might be a time-phased method or a reorder point method here. You can also define multiple locations and the reorder points for each location. Now, in case you have legacy data, system allows you to define auto calculate option, wherein the system will actually automatically understand the what are the reorder points, and it will populate on your behalf. The system also allows you to do bin management, so in case you have bins, or you can do multiple vendor management with the purchase prices. Now, from a sales perspective, as I mentioned, you can define the shipping cost, the handling cost, the package details, the weight of the item, and you can also define multiple currencies and the discount levels here, okay, with a tiered approach. So as I said, if it's up to 100, you say it's 500 USD. Anything above 100 up to 200, you will be selling it for 490. And anything about 200, you will be selling it for 485. Okay, and you can define multiple tires going forward as well. Now, the best part here is the finance, which actually works hand in hand here. So if you see here, I have something called as accounting this is on my inventory item. Okay, I'm on the inventory item, and it has an option called as accounting, wherein I can define what is my income account, what is my COGS account, what is my asset account, and the gain loss account, and other details if I want to put in there. Okay, so while I do all of this transaction, while I do a sales transaction, a purchase transaction, or maybe an inventory revaluation transaction, these accounts automatically get impacted. Okay, and based on that, the system will manage the value of assets you have. When I say assets, it's your item asset, the inventory assets you have. Okay. Having said that, the system also provides you something called as inventory 360, by which you can define details. For example, you want to see say the margins. Okay, so the sales and the margins is something we want to look at. So I just click on the sales and margins. It will show you what is the quantity on hand for that specific item, what is the quantity on sales order, on purchase order, how was the sales going 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and what were the margins you had. Okay, so you have defined the margins here, the average cost, average sales price, and the average margins. Okay, so you have a detailed description of how things have been moving and how your margins look like across that period of time, right? So that's what when Chirag mentioned earlier, right? It's a unified system. He actually meant this. So you have the financials, you have the inventory, and both work hand in hand. Definitely, we have the CRM as well. So in case people, I know there are a lot of companies who use a separate CRM, but in case you want to have the same CRM in one system, NetSuite has a beautiful CRM which can help you manage the entire process end to end. Okay, Chirag, can you see the dashboard again now?
Yes, we're back.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, so what I'll do is I will quickly run you through a sales cycle. Maybe I'll open up existing sales order and I'll quickly show how that works. So you have an idea of what it looks like. You need to give it some time to load here. Okay. Do you see my sales order, Chirag? Is that right?
Still loading.
Okay.
There we go. It's on. Yeah,
okay, perfect.
You can see it.
So this is a sales order, which is already built. Okay, so I'll just show you how things have moved across. So in the sales order, we have the customer definitely. We have which sales rep actually closed this order for you, and then we have the item. So I'm trying to sell an iPad here. Okay, and while I'm doing the sales order, the system actually tells me whether it's picked, packed, fulfilled, invoiced. It tells me all the steps. Okay, whether that step is performed or not. So tomorrow, if your salesperson wants to go and have a look at it, okay, what's happening with this order? He can simply go and look at the order and he understands what steps have been taken and where the order is progressed right now. Okay, so you define the rate, amount, and the tax is applied automatically here. Okay, perfect. Now, while you do that, in case you have some promotions going on, you can apply promotions. We have a promotion tab wherein you can apply the promotions, and the promotions will discount or buy one get one kind of stuff can be done here as well. Now, in the billing information, you have the details. Now, these are normally fetched from your customer master, and then you can see if there were any payments made. So, in case there were payments made around this, that record actually shows here, as well as if you have schedules around this. So, when I say schedule, you have predefined invoices, okay, which are scheduled for further dates. You see it in the schedule of payments as well. Now, the best thing here is NetSuite provides you something called as related records. Okay, so on the order screen, you see, okay, this has been fulfilled. This is the record. I can click and I can view that record as well. This is the invoice. So I have complete visibility as a salesperson of what's happening with this order. Let's open the item fulfillment here and let's see how it looks like. Okay, so, and I'll also open invoice gallery, so I can actually move both the places then. Okay, so okay, can you see the item fulfillment, Chirag? Is it on the same screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So on the item fulfillment, what happens is now this is shipped, but you see that this has been created from order SO2 to 7, and the same items here. It tells you on hand quantity, and then you have this inventory details. Okay, so this inventory details allow you to put the status of the goods in case you have batch number, in case you have serial number. All of that is something which gets entered here. The better part is while this fulfillment happened, okay, and maybe I'll show that to you on the GL impact. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so I'm doing an inventory transaction here, but you see this transaction has impacted my financials because my asset value has gone down because I'm selling out something, right? So that's automatically impacted. Your finance does not have to do any separate entry here. It's you just do the process, and the financials is taken care of for you. The accounting is taken care of for you. Okay. Now on the invoice side, you see this invoice. Definitely, you have the option to give a credit note or authorize return. But again, it tells you from which sales order this has been made. It tells you what item. It also tells you about the sales team members. Now on the invoice, I can see, okay, who has actually made this sale. So in case I need to get in touch with him and maybe get some clarifications around that, that can be done as well. And again, this related tab, which is like a 360-degree view of information around this record, is available across. So if you're on any screen, you want to see, okay, what's around this screen, or what are the related records here, you can see. You see here, against this invoice, there has been a payment made, and I see the payment details in here. Okay. Now, again, it's an invoice. So I've just made an invoice, and if I have to show the GL impact, I click there and it'll actually show me, okay, this is how it has been. So my accounts receivable has been hit, my revenue has been hit, and the freight expenses have been hit. So all the impacts going proper, you can see the details here when you want to see them. Okay. Now, you must have seen while all this happened, okay, we have something called as a class or a department which was tagged everywhere, even on the GL. Okay, I'll go back to the GL here, and you'll see here the department and the class is tagged. Okay, this is nothing but it's categorization of your transactions. Okay, so while you look at the reports later on, you can actually sort filter based on this categorization. So if I want to see, like, okay, what were the sales made for this department? What was the sales made for this class? Or what were the procurements made for this department or class? And I can have multiple of them. You can actually go on the reports and sort it by this classification, or I would say they are like tags. Okay. Now, again, this is the GL impacting. But if you holistically look at this, okay, you will see that you have the invoice, you have the inventory transaction, which we did in the same flow, and the related records. Let's look at the payment record here. So this is the payment record, and it's the status is deposited. You see here the payment is applied for this. If there were some credits or deposits, you could apply those as well onto this payment to make the adjustments. Okay, and you see it's hitting the accounts receivable. So you have a seamless flow here, right from your sales to your invoicing, your dispatches happening, your payments received, and each department. So this is done by multiple departments, right? So each department sees other departments' activity, and you can control that. You can control of what level of activity that person needs to see. So in case you don't want the, say, inventory manager to see the financial data, you just want him to see the status, not the amount, you can do that. Okay, you can control all of those details by configuring roles, and that's what Aarialife does while we set up the system for you. Okay. Perfect. So, Chirag, I'll leave the next step. I'll leave the presentation up to you. I'll take it ahead from here.
Thank you, Amit, for that presentation of showing us the system. And now we shall move back to me taking control.
I'll just pass. Can you take the rights from me, or I have to pass it to you?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah,
I've got it. Thank you. So I think the next part is for us to ask if all the attendees, you have any questions for us. You can simply click on the questions tab, or put your questions in the chat box. Either way, we shall take them and answer them. No questions, folks? Give it a few more minutes. Somebody has any questions? So the question is mobile access. So Amit, do you want to take that? So the answer is yes. You get there is a native iOS as well as Android application available. You can simply download it from the App Store, and you have mobile access. And definitely, there's a second question: is do you get notifications on mobile? The answer is yes. You will get the notifications on your mobile from both ways, either through the app or also if you have email notifications set up, you will get notifications there as well. Any other questions? I believe we have one more. Can this system be applied to any industry, especially asking for construction, engineering, consulting? Okay. Amit, is this a question you could take, please? I'll repeat the question. Can this system be applied to any industry, especially for construction and engineering?
Okay, sorry guys, I was on mute. Yes, you can. Okay, but as a construction industry, we need to understand your project management practices, because generally a construction project management activity is something which uses something like a Primavera. We integrate with Primavera as well. So as a holistic inventory management system, finance control, CRM, yes, you can use it. On the project management side, we will have to understand your requirements, because if those are very, very specific to your industry, then we might want to integrate it something like a Primavera. Having said that, NetSuite has its own project management module. We'll have to explore that of exactly how it fits in for your business.
Okay. Can we set up custom reminders? That's the next question, Amit.
Yes, you can. That's the beauty of NetSuite, right? That's the dashboard capability which NetSuite gives you. You definitely can set up custom reminders, and in fact, you as a person can set your own custom reminders. Although we would be setting some reminders for you which you want to start with, but as you start using the system, you would want to change reminders or you would want to add reminders. You can do it on your own.
Okay. The next question is, how much does it cost to use NetSuite annually for licensing? What's the annual subscription cost for NetSuite? So the simple answer to that is that NetSuite is $99 per user, and a platform fee of $999 per month is the starting point. Then it depends on the number of modules and the number of users that you add on to the basic platform. I hope that answers your question. And if there is, if I were to help you further on that question of NetSuite pricing, I will put a link on the chat box for you to get a better understanding of the range of pricing. One moment here. The link is on the chat box. I hope everybody can see it. If you want more understanding of or a ballpark figure of what NetSuite costs, you can look at this link. In case we have to retain any old system, how good is the integration capabilities is the next question, Amit. In case we have to retain any old system, how good is the integration capability?
NetSuite's integration capabilities is pretty good because it supports APIs, SOAP or XML as well. Now, when we talk about legacy system, we really need to understand, because integration is a two-way approach, right? Both the system needs to support the protocol. NetSuite supports the latest protocol. It allows you to do, API integrations as well as batch mode integrations. But we really need to understand the legacy system capability, if that supports APIs as well. If it supports, yes, we can. If it does not support, we can definitely work out through a CSV importer. But that will be like a manual activity to download, dump, and upload in NetSuite.
Okay. Next question is, for sales returns, if we want to change the price at which we take the product, can we do it on the sales order directly, or do we need to pass a separate entry for the same?
Okay, where is this? It's in the chats or questions?
It's in the questions, yes.
Okay. What's else if which? Uh, so okay, so I did not understand this question, right? If we want to change the price at which we take the product, can we do it on sale, or do we need to? No, you can do it on the product on the sales order itself. You can directly modify the sales order to put the amount you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, and that depends on your rights actually. So if you have been given the rights, you can. If you have not been given the rights, you can't, because generally some companies will put policy around this, saying that it should not be modified, and that's something which happens during the configuration, when we discuss with the stakeholders and they decide whether it should be allowed or not allowed. So generally, if you ask me, is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed, but it's not a good practice, because then people start changing a lot on the entry screens, right?
Okay. Next question is, how about billing less than the purchased amount? Will the system compensate for that?
System will not compensate for that. It will show as billing pending. Okay, so when you say purchased amount is say maybe $1,000, and you go ahead and bill. So there are three steps here, right? You have a purchase order. Uh, sorry, you have a sales order, you have a bill, and then you have a payment receipt, right? So you might raise a sales order of 1,000. You go and bill 500, and you receive 250. Okay, so the status of the purchase order here would be partially billed. Okay, and the status of the uh, invoice here would be partially received, because you have received only half. Okay, now you definitely have the option to go and close it manually, saying that, okay, this is something I would want to close on the sales order, because that's a non-financial impacting transaction. But definitely on the invoice, you cannot do anything. You will have to either modify the invoice, or you will have to redo the invoice.
Okay. The next question is there a provision where we can connect NetSuite with Outlook in case a CRM is used?
uh, Third-party connectors are available. The Netsuite had its own standard connector way back, but unfortunately, it's been discontinued. There are third-party connectors which are available. You can look at a Siligo connector, which allows you to do that.
Okay. I believe, I think that's it. I think I must applaud the audience on. Oh, there's one more question. If I have multiple subsidiaries in multiple countries, multi-currency, can I still use NetSuite to consolidate all the information?
I mean, absolutely. That's the most important benefit that NetSuite gives you, right? It has a module called as One World, which actually does this. Okay, so the nature of NetSuite and the USP of NetSuite is to allow multi-subsidiary, multi-currency consolidation.
Okay. Okay. Is multiple budgeting available?
Yes, you can. When you say multiple budgeting, I'm referring to this as multiple baseline of the budgets. So you can actually baseline multiple budgets in the system.
Okay.
Okay. I think we are perfectly on time here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So I must congratulate the audience on your very hearty involvement and all these questions. Amazing. We hope that this webinar was of value to you. Oh, there is one more question before we go. If we want to keep two books in the system, will it be possible?
Yeah, I mean, if it's referred to as for the same subsidiary, NetSuite provides you, multi-book accounting, but you need to be in a one world environment where we talk about you have multiple subsidiaries and then multiple books in each of those subsidiaries.
Okay. I think thank you for that answer, and thank you everyone for attending. We appreciate the time you spent with us, and we hope that we were able to provide you with some value for your time today. We wish you a great day and all the best, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.